And we post it. Joining us now with a reaction, former Detroit police chief and the man who's rumored to be challenging the appalling governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, next year, James Craig. It's great to see you tonight. First, your general reaction to what Biden laid out this week and what I just had to say about it.
You know, I got to tell you, Steve, nothing new, nothing profound. You know, conveniently, a lot of the issues that are left out, and I've seen this by so many, they leave out the fact that criminals are emboldened. You talked about bail reform. It's a miserable failure. We talk about the assault on the men and women who serve. Look at what happened in New York. We're talking about ending qualified immunity. So is it a surprise that 75% of the men and women are retiring or resigning from New York? But yet you talk about in this grandiose plan that we're going to hire more police and we're going to pay overtime. Really? So how do you plan to do that? And then you say it's bipartisan. You've talked to, I don't know who. They didn't talk to me. And I would have told them, I said, first of all, we got to start supporting the men and women who do the tough job. They don't do it. And so you think by saying we're going to, but here's the real interesting part, and it's a contradiction. So to hire these new police officers, it has to focus on community policing. Look, I'm a proponent of community policing. It works, building relationships. That's why Detroit didn't burn last year. But when we look at places like New York and Los Angeles, where they have, not so much Los Angeles, but in New York, they've ended proactive policing. So
I know, it's crazy.
Look, I can talk about this for probably an hour on your show, Steve. I have so much to say. I know my time is limited, but it's ridiculous. It's just surface, and most of it.
Surface. Look, that's exactly right.
It's not going to the root. You want to talk about social service programs? I'm all for that. You don't defund the police, and I get that the moderate Democrats are now saying we don't want to defund, but what they're not backing off of, Steve, is ending qualified immunity. Do you know what ending qualified immunity does? It's, in effect, dismantling, defunding the police. It's just that simple.
Can I just ask you about one specific aspect of this that struck me this week, a contrast? Biden, when he's going on about guns, as I said, and like making the whole thing about guns pretty much, he specifically, within that, was talking, as they often do, about assault weapons ban and so on. I was interested that in the same week, Eric Adams, who looks like he's going to be the next mayor of New York, Democrat, of course, he explicitly called that out and said, it's not about assault weapons. The problem is handguns, and that the everyday use of handguns in shootings with criminals. And that's what we should be talking about, not assault weapons. What's your thought on that?
We don't have a gun problem in America. What we have is a criminal problem. Look, you've said it. I'm going to say it again. Criminals are emboldened. Bail reform is a miserable failure. And so criminals don't follow the law. They're going to get guns. So what do we want to focus on? Getting guns from law-abiding citizens? Years ago, when President Obama was president, I made a statement that I believe, based on my years of experience as a practitioner, 44 years, that law-abiding citizens who are armed can have an impact on reducing violent crime. I believe that. And I still believe that to this day. It's not about guns, it's about criminals who have guns. And they don't get the guns legally. That's the bottom line, Steve.
Exactly. Well, listen, James, I'm really glad that you could come on tonight. I mean, you're right. We could talk. I'd love to listen to you for an hour. We don't have an hour, but maybe we can talk about it again, because, you know, this issue matters so much to people in their everyday lives. And you've got that experience, and we really appreciate you sharing with us tonight. James Craig, thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.